Hello there, this is ETV Investors Cafe and Amrat with this edition. This Investors Cafe will provide vital information about the investment condition in Ethiopia, and also it provides a very essential information for investors who would like to come to Ethiopia. It is also a good platform for investors who are investing in Ethiopia to voice their concerns about the investment businesses here. And this very first edition of Investors Cafe would like to bring you the ease of making or doing business in Ethiopia and the investment condition in Ethiopia prior to and post-conflict. My guest today is Ethiopian Investment Commission Commissioner Lelise Name. A very warm welcome to you, Lelise Name.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this Investors Cafe.
So we're going to deal with the ease of doing business in Ethiopia, and according to the latest data by the World Bank annual rating is, Ethiopia ranked 159th of 190 economies in the ease of doing business. What's your take on that, and what are you doing in a bid to rectify this situation?
Thank you so much again. You know, one of the priority that the investors focus is on ease of doing business. Majorly, the World Bank ranking has been stopped the past 2 years, but we believe that it have its own standards with the perspective of evaluating how they can start the licensing. So majorly, the government has been reforming more than 80 reforms, changing the laws, changing directives, and making sure that we have online systems. So with the perspective of the ease of doing business, we believe that if there was a competition on the World Bank, we believe that our rank will incur to at least the top 100. So we believe that there was a huge change on that perspective. You know, majorly even including the proclamation of EIC has been changed. Now we have a new proclamation that definitely support the private sector to involve in. So with that perspective, majorly, you know, there is a huge stakeholders engagement to reform our ease of doing business on implementation and providing for the private sectors. Majorly we started as a sample of in the city with the Addis Ababa City Administration, including the Federal Government Institute. Both institute has been reformed a lot. So we believe that we are striving to be an ease of doing business country for our private sector.
That's good. And my next point is, what is your take on the pre- and post-conflict time of investment landscape here in Ethiopia?
You know, investment needs peace. Without peace, it will be more difficult for the private sector to invest on their capital in our country. Majorly, as Ethiopian Investment Commission, as we are the gateway for all foreign direct investors, perfectly having the peace will definitely help us and boost the potential of Ethiopia. Even during those conflict time, Ethiopia has a big potential. So majorly, you know, more than $3.4 billion of investment has come last year. Even after the post-conflict during this 6-month performance, we able to attract $2 billion of investments with different sectors, majorly with manufacturing, agriculture, and service sector. So we believe that we need a peace, you know, we need more investors to come in and invest on few capitals of their investment in our priority sector. So we believe that there will be more investors to come in Ethiopia after this conflict or after the peace agreement.
So would you please tell us the amendments made during the reform period on issues like investment laws, proclamations, incentives, and the like? And have these amendments of the proclamations or investment laws or so been fruitful so far?
Yes, sure, it was very fruitful. On comparing on the proclamation, firstly, we believe that Ethiopia is now a negative listing country. So majorly we were very closed for the foreign investor. There's a list of bunch that the foreign investor can invest in, but now we remove that. We just exclude few sectors for the locals or for joint venture investment. The rest are open. So if they bring new ideas, new investment, it's open. So majorly one is the reform that we did is as to be a negative listing country. And the second thing is to make sure that we have a one-stop service that deliver all the service in one spot. So that's also one of the paradigm shift in the policy direction. Beside to that, majorly the incentive package and the rest that help those directives has been amended, majorly with the incentive package as well. Previously, logistics sector, health sector has been excluded on the incentive. Now, the new incentive package has included those both sectors and major additional priority sectors. So that support the private sector to start the manufacturing here. So kind of discouraging the importation and encouraging the manufacturing sector.
Let me just be specific to some points, particularly the incentive packages. What would you like to say on these incentive packages that you have just made some reforms?
So on the incentive package, we said, as EIC, we said we have physical incentive and non-physical incentive. So majorly with this physical incentive, kind of tax exemption, duty-free exemption for their construction material, for their machinery, and expatriation of, exemption, including repatriation of their profit is allowed on the incentive package. But we say non-physical incentive, which include the operational level. So with the one-stop, availing a one-stop service for the investors, making sure that they get all the service on their spots, aftercare support. Those are a non-physical incentive that catalyze the investment to implement in a short period of time.
Then in line with this, would you please say some on the guarantees or protection and facilitation that investors should know about the investment here in Ethiopia?
One is, the Ethiopian government has given a lot of priority for investment. The Ethiopian Investment Commission itself has a board. This board is chaired by His Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. Plus to that, there is a top, economic sector ministerial will attend. It's kind of half cabinet will be at the board of Ethiopian Investment Commission. So this shows the commitment of government. So secondly is, the investor needs to know that majorly they have a question of repatriation of their profit. Actually, repatriation of their profit is allowed in our law. It's a very clear one. But sometimes there will be a forex shortage due to COVID, due to conflict. So majorly now the financial sector is under open up. So majorly this challenge will be resolved. And we are encouraging parallelly the investors to focus not only import substitution, but also the exportation. So with this perspective, we believe that the government has committed to protect the private sector. And as Ethiopian Investment Commission, as we are the gate and the partner for our investor, we give a guarantee to protect their investment. Previously, we only give a license and leave them alone. So now we follow up starting from their license until their implementation.
Well, now let's turn our attention to the diaspora investment in Ethiopia. And how do you explain the diaspora investment trend in Ethiopia?
The diaspora event is one of the important pillars for Ethiopia, and during the crisis time, the diaspora team has stand with Ethiopia, and we believe that it should continue with the economic involvement as well. So last year we able to provide Invest Ethiopia for the diaspora community. On that particular event, we met about more than 800 diasporas who want to invest in Ethiopia. So with different sectors. So majorly with that perspective, we try to follow up, but still, the exact investment is still pending. So we want to encourage diasporas to start investing in Ethiopia. Majorly, there are a lot of educated people in US in different countries. So we want to make sure that they invest in ICT sector. We want to make sure that they are investing in hospital, tertiary hospitals, and in other manufacturing sector as well. So Ethiopia is open for our diaspora community because it's Ethiopians community. So we believe that they have to tap this opportunity to work closely with us. And as Ethiopian Investment Commission, we already put a diaspora focal person who will follow up if they have any issues, any case, and they have both advantage. One is they can invest being an Ethiopian. Second, if they request to be considered like FDIs, we will definitely consider them as FDI. So there is a two opportunity that the diasporas need to tap to invest in this country. And majorly, it's not only on the federal institutes, including the regional, the two city administration, Addis Ababa, Dreda, and the rest regional investment commission is ready to welcome the diasporas that actually invest in the country.
Some diaspora members are just heard complaining about the tough bureaucracies, not at the federal institutions, also in the regional offices related with investment and some other areas like banks, land-related offices, and so on. What is your take on that, and what are you just doing to rectify this situation?
Yes, there are bureaucracy, we are under reform. So the last 4 years, it has been a big reform that has been done, especially on the investment sector. So majorly, including the structure of EIC, that goes to the regional level has different, if we go to Amhara region, it will be industry and investment. It will go on some area, it will be diaspora and investment. So some of the structural alignment has a challenge. So we want to reform that, and we are working on it. Secondly is land related. So majorly, the government has invested in the industrial parks to minimize this challenge of land. So if they are equipped enough, and if they have a capital to invest in the industrial parks, with the pharmaceutical sector, with ICT sector, with health sector, with agro processing sector, it's allowed to enter in the industrial park. So industrial park is ready to welcome the diasporas so that the bureaucracy will be minimized. Parallelly, there is a reform that is done in regional level. Some of the land is, at the regional level that needs to be improved. So they are working on it, and EIC is following up and try to build a capacity at the regional level and at city administration.
Well, that's good. And if you just raise the issue of the industrial parks, would you just please tell me what advantage do they have in attracting the foreign direct investment to the country? And then we will talk about the Dreda free trade zone.
Okay, so the industrial park is one of a big hub for investors, especially if they want to start quickly. So there is two platforms in the industrial park. One is a ready-made shed that will help the investors to plug and play a plug and play environment. So they only bring their machineries and start their manufacturing quickly in a 3-month time. And we have experience with that. So there is a shed, they can rent it through Industrial Park Development Corporation and start quickly their investment. Second is there is a horizontal infrastructure, a developed one. There is power, there is water, there is telecom, there is one-stop service. So the only thing that the investor will do is building their own vertical infrastructure, and they will get a one-stop service at the spot of the industrial park. So this is the two platforms we have inside the industrial park. Until now, we have more than 27 industrial parks. The certain is developed by the federal government of Ethiopia in IPDC. 3 are integrated agro-industrial parks, majorly developed by the region, South Amhara and Oromia region. The rest are private industrial parks. So the investor who want to invest in Ethiopia can come in 3 perspectives. One is as a tenant, as an investor, and bring in their machine and start the investment. Second is as an enterprise, taking a minimum of 10 hectares of land and build their own vertical infrastructure and be as an enterpriser. 3 is as a developer. So they can take more than 75 hectares of land and build their own sheds and attract more investors on behalf of like IPDC or regional IPDC. So this is the 3 platforms that the government is providing for the private sector. So we believe that industrial parks are the most attractive area for the investor. And there is a special incentive package. It's not the same like others, which is outside of the industrial park. So in the industrial park, there is a special package, and EIC will have an office there, including the Industrial Park Development Corporation, other one-stop service deliver like immigration, banks, customs, revenues, laborers. All institutes will be based inside the industrial park. So it's a huge advantage for investors to decide in quickly.
Last time I went to Dreda and I could see the Dreda free trade zone. And what advantage does it have for Ethiopia and as well as for investors would like just to come to Ethiopia?
So Trade-off Free Economic Zone is one of the big initiatives that His Excellency Dr. Abiy initiated majorly with the perspective of special economic zone. So we believe that it will be a big paradigm shift. So the Ethiopian Investment Commission is providing and doing a proclamation of special economic zone that allow a free economic zone is one pillar, but there will be logistic parks, there will be different industrial parks that have different sectors. The previous industrial park has sector-specific investment, so it's kind of only manufacturing sector, textile, garment, leather, pharmaceutical is major thing that has been invested in the industrial park, and even the industrial park, the development proclamation will allow few specific sectors. In a special economic zone, it is kind of open up. So there will be trade, there will be logistic park, there will be a free economic zone. In total, it will be a special economic zone. So in a special economic zone, it will be a new territory that the custom around it. So it have different service. There will be a national bank base. There will be more financial sector to involve in, whether private, government, or foreign investor can enter in the free economic zone. So, but we are doing the foundation. The law needs to be done quickly. Now it's underway of, approving the law. Then after that, we believe that it will be a paradigm shift for the country to stable the economy as well.
Finally, let me give you a chance to say your message for local and global investors who would like just to invest more in Ethiopia.
Finally, I would like to say that Ethiopia is ready to welcome a private sector, and the Ethiopian Investment Commission is ready to welcome you, whether you are local or foreign direct investors, to invest in Ethiopia. We believe that it's time to invest in our country. It's time to invest in Ethiopia. We are providing and making sure that we are doing the ease of doing business for the country, and majorly we are implementing the aftercare strategy that helps the investors starting from licensing until their implementation. So come see the potential. We are a land of opportunity, a land of untapped opportunity, and come and invest in our country.
Lalisa Name, Commissioner of the Ethiopian Investment Commission, I really appreciate the explanations you have given us on the ease of doing business, as well as the investment climate or situation in Ethiopia before the conflict in the northern part of Ethiopia and after the conflict, and more issues. Thank you so much, really.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this investment cafe.
Dear viewers, this is a conversation with Lalisa Name, Commissioner of Ethiopian Investment Commission. We dwelt on a lot of issues, particularly on the investment climate in Ethiopia before and after the conflict in northern part of Ethiopia, as well as the ease of doing business. Thank you so much for joining ETV Investors Cafe. I'm Sintayo Tamarat with this edition, and see you another time.